AITAH for letting my pregnant daughter move in with me even though my girlfriend doesn't want her to. I 40M have an 18-year-old daughter with my ex-wife. Call her Maddie. We divorced when she was 7, and I have her 3 weekends a month. Her mom moved to a suburb almost an hour outside the city to be closer to her family and for a better school. My work was in the city, and after a while Maddie got sick of all the driving and asked if we could go to a different schedule. We talked most days on the phone, and I have been very involved in her life. She's a great student, graduated with over a 4.0, has a lot of friends, and a very nice boyfriend. She has no idea what she wants to do with her life, and had already decided to defer her scholarship a year to take classes at the community college and work. I also have a girlfriend, Vera 37F, and she gets along with Maddie great. We've been together about 2 years, and she just moved into my house a few months ago. Edit. Her old roommate got married and she couldn't afford rent alone. We've been together almost 2 years, and I was considering proposing, so it seemed like a good idea after she couldn't find another place. She pays the electric and water bills, but my house is paid off, so I just pay taxes, insurance, and the other utilities, and it's been great. I didn't really date much the past few years between Maddie and work, so it's nice having someone always around. Vera doesn't want kids of her own, and I don't want any more, so it's been great. So for all that, Maddie is pregnant, and her mom has kicked her out. Her boyfriend has another year left of nursing school and lives in a college apartment with roommates. She is of course staying here for now and found out late. She's due in January. She and her boyfriend went over the options and decided to keep the baby. She told me very meekly and asked if she could stay. I told her of course. She knows this is disappointing, but she'll never stop being my baby, and if this is what's going to happen, I'm here to support her within reason. As in, I'm fine babysitting if she has work or class, and she'll keep working and going to school, but I'm not babysitting for her to party or hang out with friends. If the boyfriend bails, which I was as kind as I could be, but told her happens even with the nicest boys, she would need to file child support. And I would give her grace before and after birth, but when she's recovered she'll go back to doing chores on top of baby ones. I told her and the boyfriend to sleep on it, and they did, and came back with actual thoughtful responses, and even a budget goal that I found impressive. So, the tiny bedroom next to Maddie's that is currently home to a treadmill I never use is going to be a nursery. Of course I've kept Vera in the loop during all of this, edit, and by this I mean I don't know how many different ways I need to put this so it gets through people's heads. Vera and I discussed all of this before I talked to the kids. In depth. I made her very aware that the 3 of them could end up living here for a few years. She was supportive. I kept her in the loop. When them living here became the plan, she gave me an ultimatum and told me to kick my daughter out BC she's an adult. I told her I wouldn't do that. She is still here and making everyone uncomfortable, and she seemed really understanding until I told her the plan. She got upset and said if she wanted to raise a baby, she'd have one of her own. She said she didn't sign up for this and is not okay with it, and demanded I rescind the offer, that Maddie is 18 and needs to figure it out on her own if she wants to keep the baby. I told her I wouldn't do that. She'll always be my daughter and needs help. She threatened to move out if I didn't tell Maddie to get out, then got mad that I told her I understood. Now she's avoiding the both of us, or being snippy. I don't know what she expects me to do, but it's making the entire house anxious. Edit. Stop saying that. Vera would be shocked that Maddie moved in. This is Maddie's home. She's always lived here. Yes, the rest is a surprise, but not my daughter living in her home. Comments are Jack 151 say goodbye to this relationship. Off 1995 Opie already said he chose his daughter over his girlfriend. But the girlfriend, who is supposedly ready to leave, has nowhere to go and can't afford to live independently, so she's just angry her ultimatum didn't work while still living with Opie. Barrow Kaspala. Funny how that works. The girlfriend thinks Opie's pregnant 18 years old must be independent and out of the house, while she, 37, and without any children should be given shelter and food on the table. Brody Scout, right? Opie says his GF couldn't afford rent on her own after her roommate left. But Opie's daughter, at 18 and pregnant, should figure it out. Mustang 19671967 time to tell you GF, she can do what's best for her, but your daughter will probably be here for 3 to 4 years. Let her know you want her to stay, but your life will change. OOP. That's what I told her. She's not happy about it and being rude to me. Kayladang 8718 is barely an adult, and actual adults who think 18 is a proper age to be 100% on your own are a problem. Good job still being willing to be a parent to your child when she needs you. NTA. Oh, right. Of course I don't want anything bad to happen to my daughter, and now there's a grandbaby to worry about. Chance Management 2954, maybe discuss what Vera's fears really are. She might think, when the baby comes the work will be dumped on her. Up to Team OOP. I've made it clear that all she will owe to the baby is to help in emergencies, and by emergencies I mean this is not only extreme but urgent, like I'd ask a very good neighbor, if that makes sense. If they both have work or class, and I have plans, I am canceling my plans if they can't find someone, not asking her. The only exception is if she offers, and I have no expectations that she will offer. I think I'm being fair. DGSHWGRL, you're being fair, absolutely. Vera saying children are a deal breaker is also fair. You took her saying no kids to mean you won't have any together, but clearly she meant I will never share my home with a young child. Well, NH, unfortunately you've got a fundamental incompatibility and she'll need to find a new home before January, because you won't still be a couple by February. Sometimes life sucks, and you have to choose what sucks the least. This internet stranger is very proud of you for choosing your child over your girlfriend. Judgment. NTA update. 6 days later, my last post got a little overwhelming. I'm still glad I did it. Reading the comments, I just got to the point I was like, what am I doing? I asked Vera to talk, she started. She actually did kind of apologize, said she was just stressed because she's expected Maddie to either keep the same custody schedule or maybe a bit more, but not full-time, and certainly not with a baby. And then she didn't think I'd actually let her live here with the baby. She said she'd be able to work with a compromise of Maddie and the boyfriend getting their own place when he started working full-time, and they could promise to never ask her for help. I guess she thought as long as she has an end in sight, she would be able to handle it. I told her I understood, but her behavior was out of line, and I can't see us working out after this. She was upset and seemed shocked and got pretty mad. I told her she was welcome to stay in the basement for a month while she found a new place, and I'd pay her back for the bills she'd paid. She wasn't happy at any of this and was freaking out, so I called and asked Maddie if she could stay with Doug for the night. I offered to give Vera some space, and she told me to fuck off. I was working from home that day, so I was around but not in her way at all while she moved her things downstairs. She had worked that night, and let me know the next morning she'd be moving to her friends. I offered help, but again she said no and left her key on the counter. I changed the security code but told her if she left anything there just to let me know and I'd let her in to come and get it. So I thought there'd be no drama. I was actually obviously sad but felt better about the whole thing. We can't prove anything, but Maddie's carnivore plants started rapidly dying the last few days, and she said a bunch of her concentrated fertilizer was gone. We all know not to touch them or water them, as in she had me install rain barrels because they can't have tap water. She's devastated and hasn't said it directly, but I think we both think Vera did something to them. I've asked her if she wants me to do anything about it, and she said no. And at one point Vera sent her a nasty text saying she's the reason I'm alone, and she hopes she's happy. I told her to block her. I don't know if she feels guilty or like she deserves it. She doesn't even want me to replace them and said she'll just try to salvage some of them. So, if anyone knows of good sites in the US to buy pictures or pings, hit me up. So not great. I'm gonna stay single for a while, obviously. But there's some good news. I have a female friend who Maddie has known forever and has had kids, and she took her out to lunch. My issue was that Maddie thought she could power through and take courses in the spring with a newborn. She wouldn't listen to me and told me she'd make it work. My friend was able to convince her that one semester wasn't going to ruin her life, so that is a positive. And the boyfriend Doug, I talked with his parents. They're like me, not thrilled but going to be supportive and excited for a grandbaby. They live over an hour away though, but told them I had a spare room they could use when they visit. And Doug, who does work part-time while he's in school, I told him yes, work this semester, but next semester your number one job is to finish your degree no matter what. I am willing to support them both financially next semester because I know the best way to ensure my grandbaby has a good life is making sure their dad has his degree and a good job. He seemed to understand and was thankful. Maybe he's not as much of a ding-dong as I thought he was, lol. Too long didn't read? I broke up with Vera, and she moved into a friend's. We don't know if it was her, but Maddie's plants have been dying and she's devastated. But the boyfriend is doing good and moving in so he can be a present parent. Comments Soggy Detective 4737, you're a great example to Doug and how to father a child. Frequent Couple 5498, yes, OP is. You are doing a wonderful thing for your daughter and her boyfriend. It's ideal to do things in a certain order, but it doesn't always work out that way. Giving them a place to stay and supporting them and their baby so they can finish school is amazing. OP is my hero dad for today. Okay, play 2364, good riddance to Vera. As far as the plants go, I try transplanting them. Remove as much soil as possible from the roots first. Stripping Pandax X, I agree with this as well. Remove soil, being careful. If there's a root ball, shake and poke, then soaking it and gently prodding with a thin stick will help greatly. Rinse it a ton, even the leaves. I'll leave the roots in just some spring water for a day or two depending to help them soak up some water, and then plant them. It'll be a shock to the plants and not all might make it, but Eve had plants come back some seriously awful mistakes and mishaps, so I trust the damage to the plants can be fixed. OOP. This is what she's been doing, but most of the leaves and pictures are destroyed. Stripping Pandax X, I'm sorry friend. Consider posting in FB plant groups in your area. People are so awesome and giving. I bet the community will come together and help get your daughter some replacements. OOP. Good idea. Update, 5 months later. Hey everyone, I wanted to give one last update because nobody else in my life thinks this is as hilarious as I do. I'll put the update about my family first, so skip to the end if you don't care about all that. Recap. My 18-year-old daughter got pregnant, and her mom kicked her out. She asked if she could live with me. My GF at the time, Vera, threw a fit about it for not asking her permission, and we broke up. This was a few months ago. So for happy news, Maddie had a little boy last month, and we're all completely in love with him. She and the boyfriend ended up getting married a few months ago. When Doug asked, I told him, hey, you don't need to rush this, but he pointed out that having a baby is a much bigger commitment than getting married, and I couldn't argue with that. They're good parents. Honestly, haven't really asked me for much help at all. Granted, she's not currently working or in school, and he's just in school. It's very weird seeing your baby love someone as much as you love them. Maddie had been on bed rest for some health issues and went into labor almost a month early, but she is completely fine now, and my grandson got out of the NICU 3 weeks ago. He decided to come at a pretty inopportune time, right before Doug's week of exams, but I gotta hand it to him. He really powered through. Luckily, Maddie was able to finish her semester a few weeks early due to the health issues and bed rest, and kept her straight A streak. She gave birth at the hospital that his school is associated with, and even though his instructors all came to see the baby, they didn't give him a break. Maddie encouraged him to at least get a few drinks with his friends for his birthday, but he's a bit of a homebody to be honest, and spend it with her and the baby. They ended up moving into the basement because Maddie gets anxiety and thought I would get annoyed at the baby crying. I told her that wouldn't happen but agreed that them having their own space was best. My grandson is only a few weeks old, but I stand by my decision to support them. They have been amazing parents so far, and told me that they were going to try really hard not to lean on me for help with the baby, since I'm helping them so much financially. That being said, I sometimes have to remind them that the price of living here is baby snuggles, and kidnap my grandson for a bit here and there. Obviously, I'm not stupid. Them not having external factors like rent or money to worry about is helping them a lot, and I know they appreciate it. Maddie wants to go back to work in a few weeks, just a few hours a week in the evenings, so we'll see. Doug says it's easy enough to study or play RuneScape while holding a baby and is fine with it, but I don't want her overdoing it. They know that him graduating is the most important thing. He has a job for when he graduates, so we just need to get over that finish line. Doug's parents are very involved as well. They also live a few hours away, so I told them that they were welcome to stay in Maddie's old room, so they didn't have to do day visits. They're both immigrants but have green cards, so the situation is kind of scary, but I've gotten pretty close to them and think Maddie got very lucky with her in-laws. If only they'd stop bringing so much food when they visit. Had to make a new hole for my belt already. My ex-wife is still not handling this well. She's never liked Doug, but more importantly never wanted Maddie to grow up. We had gotten pregnant young, and she did kind of come around in the sense that she insisted on buying all of the baby's furniture. She still hasn't talked to Maddie, and regularly calls me, Doug, and Doug's parents to tell us that we ruined her life, but also has created a college savings account for the baby and done some other random acts of generosity. She's always been complicated, and there's a reason she's my ex-wife. A friend of mine threw Maddie a little shower, and I know she was upset that her mom didn't show up. And no, Maddie won't go no contact with her. She loves her mom, and I know my ex loves her, and she hopes one day they can reconcile. However, my ex has not met our grandson because Maddie refuses to let her unless she talks to her. I agree with this and support her. The funny update, after a few months of trying to hook up with my friends, I guess Vera ended up dating a guy we both knew from a mutual hobby. I don't know him well, or anything, but he's always seemed like a decent guy. I don't talk to Vera, but do follow the guy on Instagram, and they just posted that they're going to have a baby later this year. Which is hilarious because just a few months ago she was scolding me day and night because she said she was child-free. And in her mind, claiming that you're child-free is like a federally protected class and everyone needs to accommodate you. Until you change your mind, I guess. But it's their life. He's a few years older than me, and the thought of becoming a first-time parent at my age sounds crazy, but who am I to judge? Comments coffee-loving Namikaze, I'm so happy you did the right thing for your daughter and her husband and your grandbaby. It's so hard bringing a child into this world right now, and having your support and love made it so much easier for them. I bet it even took off the stress from his parents to know their son is being taken care of by someone as well. Thank you for being a great person. Congrats, Grandpa. So happy baby and mom are healthy and happy. Janice 1981, LOL. Mate, Maddie's pregnancy may just have saved you from marrying a fucking loon. I'm curious, how many of your pals did she try to shag after you split? Does she have any shame? I saw a Boro post yesterday with nominations for top posts of 2025, and one of the categories is Best Dodged Bullet, and your story definitely fits into that category. OP. I've never been more thankful for my vasectomy, 3 of my good friends, plus a few acquaintances. It felt pathological, but maybe I'm just too self-involved. Not my problem anymore. Fire or water. Kai OP's daughter and hubby will be great parents because they have a wonderful example in OP. So happy this has worked for them, and they're happy and healthy. OP, stay away from dating for a bit because your crazy meter is broken.